The NFL consensus boards Cam Ward as QB1 in this year's draft class, and it makes sense at a glance, with Ward having all the talent in the world to be a superstar in the NFL. And while I don't necessarily disagree with the idea of him being QB1, I just wonder, is he this slam dunk superstar prospect that we're making him out to be? So I went through his 2024 film, and the results were shocking, enough to where it changed my opinion on him from being this slam dunk prospect to being a boom or bust type of guy. So today we're going over the disturbing amounts of bad in his play that led me to believe it could be a colossal disaster in the waiting. One of the biggest things I saw going through Ward's film that is not being talked about enough by any NFL analyst, which is the abundance of turnover-worthy plays he makes. Normally when I evaluate quarterbacks in the NFL, I look at the turnover-worthy play percentage, but it's not the end-all be-all for me. Cam Ward happens to have a high turnover-worthy play rate, which is concerning again, but it's important to look at the film to see what exactly those turnover-worthy plays are. So let's do just that. Here we are looking at what appears to be cover 3. Ward looks to his right, sees his slot guy open, and the wide receiver running the go route. Both of these are options for him to throw to, although the go ball is a 50-50 ball. Keep in mind as well, it is 1st and 10 with no time crunch. Ward, for whatever reason, doesn't like either of these options and searches for something better. Pressure from the edge has arrived though, and it forces him outside. At this point, he runs towards the sideline and throws this incomplete at the feet of his receivers to live for another day. But he doesn't do that. Cam Ward decides to toss a Yahoo ball to the other side of the field, throwing across his body. A big no-no, to be picked off and taken all the way back for pick 6. Let's look at another one, but this time it's more of a processing issue for Ward. The coverage is, well, a blob at this point. Post-snap, it becomes what seems to be cover 3. Now, it is pretty obvious that the running back and number 8 are open, right? But there's deception happening here. Keep in mind that 21 has all this real estate in its 2nd and 4. Ward goes with number 8 and falls into the trap laid out for him. This corner and this safety are going to switch off, kind of like banjo, but that might not be the appropriate language in this scenario. That being said, disaster strikes, with Ward being bailed out because the corner couldn't hold on to the ball. These are 2 examples of bad turnover plays by Ward, but it's littered throughout his film. Even in his best games, you see at least one bad turnover play, and for the most part, a Will Levis meme-esque play in there. Many people will say Ward needs more time to develop, but I just don't think that's the case here. See, Ward is not a QB with limited experience. He's been playing college football for 4 years now. You could say 5, but his first year, it wasn't a full season. Not only that, but his volatile play style has been consistent throughout his career. He always has been like this. It just happens he made more big time throws this year and in a much better situation. And I'm not saying that him playing 4 to 5 years is bad. I'm just saying that he played 4 to 5 years. This is what he is. And sadly, I'm not done yet. I noticed a few things that may not be necessarily huge red flags, but they are meaningful. I think the biggest being who he has played so far in his career. I don't feel Cam Ward has really faced top level competition in college. He's played teams like Duke, Louisville, Cal, Virginia Tech, USF, and Florida. Are those top level teams? I don't feel so. Maybe I don't have the best feel for that, but they do have pretty good defenses, whether it's their pass rush or coverage unit, which is important. Problem is, he didn't necessarily play really well in this games either. It's like this back and forth, boomer busty type of play. And what would we have seen if it was against Georgia, Notre Dame, Michigan, or Alabama? Those caliber teams are the closest to what an NFL team will actually look like, but it could expose Ward at the NFL level. Now, a shocking thing I found about Cam Ward, which you will find interesting, is he takes a lot of time to throw the ball. Often when you look at his big time throws or best throws, there's 2 things you see. One is that he's often taking a long time before throwing it, obviously. And we know that with coverage, no matter how good it is, it will break down if enough time has passed. And 2 is he has a lot of room to work with, not really making the bulk of these throws under pressure in the pocket or being hurried, all of which, in my opinion, will not be the general case at the NFL level. He will have to make faster decisions. He won't be able to wait 4 to 5 seconds later all the time for a receiver to be open. NFL pass rushers are also a different breed. Additionally, and this is the eye candy, the best information out of all this video that you'll want to know, Cam Ward takes a very, very long time to get rid of the ball under pressure, being at a whopping 4.4 seconds, which is really bad, an outlier compared to other quarterbacks, and an infinite amount of time to hold on to the ball. A lot of that has to do with his play style, I know, and many are going to point out that Mahomes and Caleb Williams are players that do that, which is true, but you have been misled by it being a good thing and half of that isn't even true. Now first, Williams did take a long time to throw, averaging 4.63 seconds in 2021, 4.62 seconds in 2022, and 4.47 seconds in 2023, and that's under pressure. He also was dog water in 2 of those years as a result of taking that long to throw under pressure. It's not off to a hot start for him either at the NFL level. There has been a reality check. The other thing is Mahomes never actually took that long to throw the ball under pressure ever, despite his play style not even close. In college, under pressure, he took 3.78 seconds in 2014, 4.12 seconds in 2015, and 3.8 seconds in 2016 in college. At the NFL level, it has been 3.8 seconds to 3.9-ish seconds on average year in and year out. The only guy which has pretty consistently got away with a much higher than 4.1 seconds to throw under pressure is Lamar Jackson, who is the exception and is the best athlete in the NFL. Light years of difference compared to Cam Ward. All to say he will probably most likely not be able to do that at the NFL level and still look good. One of the biggest things I saw going through Ward's film that is not being talked about enough by any NFL analyst is the amount of Will Levis plays he has. For a guy to be QB1, you would think he wouldn't have that problem. And don't believe me? Well, let's look at his film. Here we are looking at what seems to be a sloppy pre-snap Comfrt 2, the coverage moving to Comfrt 3 post-snap. Ward is going to have plenty of time with great protection. In addition, he has 2 open receivers he could throw to. Maybe he has gained tunnel vision of looking downfield only here. That's on him. Ward is going to continue dancing in the pocket, not getting rid of this ball at all. And at this point, since the snap, has been roughly 4 to 5 seconds. Then the offensive line loses their leverage and the defenders come after Ward. Ward continues backward before trying to run away, which he fails to do, gets tackled, and while he does this, he tries to throw it away. You might be thinking, what's wrong with that? Well, let's rewind the tape and see. He had so long to throw with open options, but he either doesn't see it, which is a problem, or he wants something deeper, which is also a problem. He's lucky this doesn't become a fumble or he puts more air under it and it's an interception with this guy flying in for the ball. It's also 2nd and 10, and I understand that he does not want to make it 3rd and forever, but he had open receivers. This is not necessarily a bad play that resulted in a negative outcome, which surprisingly is the case for many of these plays in his game, but it will catch up to him at some point. It would be one thing if it was here and there like it is with Tyler Shuck. This type of behavior of waiting so long to throw for something better downfield, deciding to get rid of the ball at the worst times, is a recipe for disaster at the NFL level. There are 2 other concerns that I have that will be problems if he doesn't fix them. One is he has no touch in his throws. Like, he's on the JJ McCarthy level of it's missiles or nothing. Not only does he struggle with throwing a touch, but his touch accuracy, in my opinion, is garbage. He just can't hit it, and when he does, it's a miracle. At the NFL level, he will need to throw with touch to feather in those deep balls or allow enough time for a receiver to be at a spot if he has to throw it more sooner than he wants. The other thing I kind of thought he struggled with was interior pressure. To be really specific, it's less of him not managing the pocket well and more of him not being great at escaping the middle of the pocket. So many times on his film, I would see him try to escape through the middle or even pressure coming from the middle, and he just could not escape. Even when it's there for him to, defenders from the line would pretty easily catch up behind him, which I think contradicts the idea that he's this high-level, gifted athlete as a runner. I just don't think he really is. It was a different story, though, when he escaped through the sides of the pocket, being flushed out. That is when his best plays were, showing off his arm talent and arm strength off. He also was really good in the open field as a runner, to make that clear. But him struggling with interior pressure and escaping that pressure through the middle is not good when you think about how the NFL seems to be prioritizing having that defensive tackle that can rush the passer really well. It's not a major concern, but it's worthy of pointing out. Cam Ward is a tricky prospect to predict because he really is a boomer bust prospect. He might be the consensus QB1 in the draft, but that doesn't mean he would be in last year's draft. He probably would have been ahead of JJ McCarthy, but behind Bo Nix and Michael Penix Jr., at least in my rankings. Ward could be a Ben Roethlisberger ceiling, middle of the road, Jameis Winston, which is my comp for him, honestly, or he could look like a complete nightmare. I think he's a starting franchise top 20 quarterback with a few great years, a few terrible years, and really a roller coaster of a career. So much so that I might make another video on Cam Ward after my Tyler Shuck and Shadir Sanders videos, because there is something I noticed about his game that has remnants of Andrew Luck, which it sounds crazy, but I guess you'll have to stick around the channel to see what I mean. Please comment down below what your thoughts are on Cam Ward and what your prediction is for him. I love engaging in conversations with guys, civil conversations, but I love that. It's one of my favorite parts of trying to do YouTube. And check out this video on a review of the 2024 rookie quarterbacks. It's no fluff, straight to the point analysis and review of each guy. And if you're looking for a sweatshirt, check out Comfrt Hoodies. It's not a sponsored video. I just really like their sweatshirts, and there's a affiliate link in the description. And if you do want to support me, you can buy me a coffee.